And what's cracking, y'all, is Griff from Get Up Mornings with Eric and Campbell. I am here with a great friend right now, man, Kenneth Braswell of Fathers Incorporated. He also is Gentle Warriors Academy. But how I know him is he understands the need of profound men in the community, and he just works daily on how to make men better, how to make a relationship with men and their kids, how to be better husbands, but it's the fatherhood part that I've always been attracted to my guy with. What he does is a ministry that doesn't get a lot of love, but it's real dads out here. Kenny Braswell, y'all.
Man, thank you so much for having me, sir. It's that fatherhood time of the year. We
Yeah.
don't get this intentional focus on us but one time a year, and we just like to maximize on it. While you looking, we're going to show out. We're going to show up and show out, but we're going to continue to do the work throughout the year because the work needs to be done throughout the year. But this is a great time of the year for particularly dads because this is their time to get recognized.
Let me ask you, Ken, why is it so? And I know, and this is a generic question, if any, why is it important to be a father to you?
Man, it's everything. It's part of my purpose, right? Part of our purpose is to procreate, right? To fill the earth, but then that's our responsibility to harvest it, right? And so we're not talking about plants, we're talking about kids. And so if we're going to seed them, we have to be there to nourish them. We have to be there to raise them. We have to be there to discipline them. We have to be there to praise them. We have to be there to glorify them. We just have to be present and available. It's critically important for our children that both of their parents are equally involved in their lives, irregardless. And that's not a word I've been told to stop saying that, irregardless. It's regardless. Regardless of the relationship.
Irregardless, make it sound like regardless.
It's just, but you know what? It's our natural flow. We got to put a little more sauce on it.
Exactly. So I like irregardless and convo. All words you're not supposed to say. Go ahead and say scrimp if you want to.
Right. Absolutely. And so it's just important, and it's a necessity, that, we find a way to be the best individuals we can be in the lives of our children, regardless of the nature of the relationship.
Yes, and I love how you say regardless, because regardless, ladies that's listening, and men too, is the part where you ain't cool with your ex-wife, or you ain't cool with your the mother of your child, or you ain't cool with, and because y'all don't have a relationship, the kids' relationship suffer. So I know you are very big on be a man about it. I wrote a book for moms raising sons from the perspective of a son raised by his 16-year-old mother. And the bottom line is it ain't about y'all. It's about the kids. So whether I love when I go to my daughter's house in Atlanta, and my ex-wife has a picture of me, her, and the two girls in her room. And she looks at that picture and she sees love and she sees family. And she also has other pictures of me in the house around my daughter. So she's always connected. But I'm big on the connectivity, because without that, so if y'all mad still, now let's not even talk about how you ain't had a baby. The baby is 12 and we still calling them baby.
Right.
And you ain't went over there to scoop, because last time you went over, which was 5 years ago, last time you went over, she was tripping and she had to, when do we get mature, Ken? When?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of healing that has to be done, right? Because we take for granted, that, hurt people, right? And there's nothing more hurtful than a romantic relationship going bad. Right?
How about that? Nothing, homie. When it was all good, it was Cinderella. When it was all bad, it was Cruella de Vil.
Absolutely. And you got to deal with that. And so for our fathers, the realistic piece of the conversation that we have for them is own up to that. Yes. If you played a role in that, if you did not play a role in that, that's another conversation. She has to live up to what
they played a role. We all play a role.
And
You
so,
you
but
you know why she not messing with you for real.
right. Don't be acting like there's no, like she's just supposed to get over the fact whatever you did.
Yeah,
And she's supposed to get over that for the sake of the child. Yeah, in theory, but
it
not
sound
in
good.
reality.
It sound good.
Yeah, it sounds good, but that's just not gonna happen. So I tell our guys all the time, listen, you may have to suck it up for a few years and take it on
Yes.
the chin,
Yes.
until she is able to see a different you. You got to reinvent yourself in her eyes. Trust is a
That's good.
huge factor
That's
when
good.
it comes to the mothers of our children. And it's not so much that they don't trust you as an individual, they don't trust your judgment, right?
Right.
And your credibility. And
Right.
so that's the same with all relationships,
You
even
got you
between
got
bros.
known horrible points, and that's all she can remember. You
Right.
told her you was gonna pick her up a bunch of times and didn't come get her. So what you think she gonna do with Junior? So
Mm-hmm.
she and I understand women. I'm not a woman hater that you need to let the man, but you also have to have empathy on a guy. And then at what point in a relationship do you understand, hey man, you really need to be around your father? Like you
Yeah.
really need to spend some
Right.
time. I know I've talked about it and you heard me, but you staying with your father for the summer. Or
Right.
spring break is coming up. Give your dad 3-4 days. Like that has to be, and it's easier said than done. And I understand that, but
Mm.
y'all not 22 and 24 no more, where emotions is real high. Like these
Right.
are you talk
Right.
about 43-year-olds. Like, come
Right.
on
Right.
now.
And then you both bringing in new people into your life to kind of deal with those relationship emotions that you had from their last relationship, but you messing with the parent relationship. There's two different relationships in
That's
there.
good.
And many of us can't separate that, men or women, right? Listen, I want no dude around my kids.
Right.
I don't care where he works, what he drives, how much money he makes, what size church he goes to, whether or
Yes.
not he's a PK kid. I don't care about any of those things. I don't want another dude around my kids until I get to know him. I get to understand that he recognizes my presence and my responsibility in the lives
Yes.
of my children. And one thing that we don't talk about, that he respects the mother of my children in a way that shows that he respects who
Yeah,
we
you're
are.
not just gonna be beating up my ex-wife, dog. Like that's not happening. You're not
Right.
just gonna be jumping on her and think I ain't gonna say nothing because I ain't with her no more. Ain't nobody gonna beat up my kid's mama.
Right.
Like that's period. So you got way other problems. But as men, we also have to. That's our ego saying, I don't want no man around. I don't want no other dude around my kid. I don't. But you actually do want another dude around your kid because
Absolutely.
you ain't around your kid. So the
Right.
question is, what kind of dude do you want around your kid? You
Right.
know, and what relationship? I remember my first wife. We got married when we was 18 in the military, and right after me, she got married probably a couple years later, but I think they just celebrated 20 years maybe a couple months ago. But I
Absolutely.
remember early in a relationship telling him, hey man, don't let them disrespect you. If it
Right.
come down to it, I'm telling you, whoop them then. Don't.
Right.
Y'all live in Texas, I live in Atlanta. Like, don't never, you the man of the house, dog. Don't let no kid come at you crazy. He
Right.
don't have my permission to come
Right.
at you crazy. So
Mhm.
form that relationship with the other guy because it's
Right. But
possible.
the primal analogy in this is you got to go around and pee on the tree so you leave your mark.
Don't
Right.
I didn't know we was gonna go there, but yeah, it's a
You got
lot
to
of
go
piss.
around. Right. You got to leave your scent on the tree, but you can't do that if you're not present. And so another guy who comes into space, he has to see your face every now and then. So he's real clear. Listen, this is not somebody I can mess with because there's a real dude who's in this picture, right? We know it. You and I know this best growing up, right? You and I could tell the girls who did not have men in their lives.
Absolutely, in the first 2 minutes.
Right. Right. And so if you're not present in that way, where other men who come through who may not have the same kind of personality that you want around your children, if you're not there, they're going to think they can run the show. That's
Not
just
only do they think they can run the show, but you also have to remember they're hearing one side story about you that's so horrible.
Right.
he cheated on me, and then he did this, and then he never did this, and he'll never be like so. You also have to know that, hey man, we know women exaggerating they emotional. You know what I'm saying? We know they emotional. So you giving a dude who ain't emotional all emotions about a dude you used to be with, and all
Right.
we saying is, all right, then, like I don't what I'm supposed to say. Like you want me to beat him up when he come over? Like, and when you in your 20s and 30s, that be the thing. My boyfriend gonna beat you up. He said if you ever, because all he been hearing is have conversations, whole bunch of cussing and hanging up on the phone. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And really, as a grown man, to the mature men out here, to the men that want to be mature, it it is about resolve,
Yeah.
because you want peace.
Mm-hmm.
My wife
You want your
now, and I'm a
kids around
newlywed,
peace.
and my ex-wife are the coolest people in the world. They laugh on the phone. They because and my ex-wife even flew into Texas to make sure
Right.
who her daughter was staying with. You know what I'm saying? Let me see how y'all living. Let me look in the house. What the
Right.
bathroom look like?
Right. Right.
And we
Absolutely.
welcomed her open arms,
Right.
because wherever your daughter is, you are supposed to be able to go.
Absolutely. And the
If
flip hand
you're
side of
still
that coin,
supposed to be able to go to family functions even though y'all ain't together. You can show up at the barbecue and everybody should be cool with you. It shouldn't be no funk when you
right.
mature.
Right. And the flip hand side of that coin for guys is don't be so quick to bring another woman up in your space.
Got to slow down with that part, dog.
Right. You trying to make a point that I'm over you and I don't really need you and I don't went out and found this new thing because everything feels good new, right?
Yeah,
And so you bring that up and she looking at you like, who is this? Right.
right.
And now you got to deal with that drama. And
But
you
here go
might
the
be
cool part about that part. If the woman that you have that's new recognize, first of all, date some women. How about that? If you
right.
date,
Let's
you
start
date
there,
some
right?
women and not girls.
Right.
Two women ain't going. Two girls a fight. Two women gonna love talk and have some wine. That's
Right.
what they gonna do. They gonna go
Right.
to the side and say, "You dudes talk. Let's go over here." And they have a way of fixing themselves. It's
Right.
not for us to try to fix women because we dudes.
Right.
And that's all Ken wants y'all to be is better. And me too. We just want to be better dudes. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, how
Absolutely.
if you a better dude, then that means you're great in your fatherhood
Mm-hmm.
experience. If you a
Right.
better dude, that means you're great in your husband experience. That means if you a better dude, your relationship with Christ
Right.
reflects that. And we don't.
Absolutely.
And for the people who don't believe in Christ, who or different religion people, we're not saying you gotta believe in the Lord to have a relationship, but it helps.
It does definitely helps.
You
And
will want to go to church with somebody.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the last thing is, make sure you are around a great accountability circle, right?
Yes.
Because when I think about you, I think about somebody that I watch in relationship, I watch come through relationship, I watch manage relationship, and that regulates how I manage my own relationship. But if you and I are close friends and I'm watching you I'm watching you on Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell, but in the night you popping bottles, that's a contradiction. That's a contradiction to me, right?
Yes.
And that's outside of what I want to be around. So that friendship for me can't last because I can't trust you to give me sound advice in the area that's important to me. And
Boy.
so if you have people in your life and boys in your life that don't help set an example for you as a man, as a friend, as a father, you got the wrong people in your life and you need to get rid of them fast.
And that all comes through maturity. That
Mm-hmm.
all comes through growing. That
Right.
all, I tell my kids, I was the most popular dude in school at all my schools. I went to 21 different schools growing up. And I don't know none of them people I thought I was popular to. You know what I'm saying? I know two people from school, like all together, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool when 30 people like you, but when you grow up, and I always tell my kids, ask your teacher how many friends they got for reals. And they
Right.
going, one hand you.
Right.
In one hand, maybe 3 or 4, like for reals,
Right.
like tell them like this. If it's between you living and dying, how many friends you got? And
Mm-hmm.
then you remember how many acquaintances you have, how many people you met in passing, and all Facebook friends ain't friends.
Yeah, I heard Creflo Dollar say this some years ago, and when I heard that, I kept this principle because I was like, man, that makes a lot of sense. And he said, come up with a number that's an emergency amount of money that you might need that you can't come up with that you may have to ask somebody else for. He said, come up with a number. And he says, if you don't have 5 friends that can give you that amount of money without question, you need to change your circle.
And don't go low. Say I need 2 G's.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I need
Right?
2 G's. If you can't make 2 phone calls to get 2 G's, you got to start thinking about who you're around. And if somebody called you and asked you for 2 G's, would you have it?
Would you turn it over to them? Right. Because that's the vice versa piece.
Now, loaning money is a whole nother fatherhood. Listen, if you ain't got 2 G's to lose, because no, just because I gave you 2 G's don't mean you got to give it back when I want to give it back. But that's a whole nother topic. Ken, thank you for being on today, man. Always love what you're doing in the community. And what's going on next? Tell me what's going on next.
Well, what's going on next? We are launching this campaign called Fatherhood is Brotherhood, and we're really trying to get dads to understand that the best dad you can be comes as a result of the best brothers you're around.
Woo!
The better your brotherhood, the better your fatherhood. And so what we got now is we're asking people to join the brotherhood, to go to www.fatherhoodisbrotherhood and join the brotherhood, and we're going to connect you with other brothers, a big accountability circle, resources, and anything that you need to help better your life, whether it's classes, whether it's employment, whether it's conflict resolution, whether it's parenting skills. And we want to learn together. And so I tell people all the time, I'm a client of my own services, right? I don't just run this show. A lot of times when I'm sitting in the class, I'm learning just like everybody else because I'm hearing narratives and I'm hearing stories and I'm hearing what other brothers are going through. And I'm like, dang, I'm glad. Thank God I ain't go what he went through. But now that I know it, I ain't going through it.
Man. Well, and anything I could, Ken, we've been talking for years, dog. I think the brothers need a comedy show. I think we need to laugh. I think we need to have a day of learning and laughing. Why can't we have some, 2-hour breakout sessions and then go see some comedy and make it all intertwined? You know what I'm saying? The comedy is really teaching. Why can't we? What I loved about my pastor, Jesse Kearney III, out of New Mercies Christian Church in Lilburn, Dr. Pastor Jesse Kearney, by the way, is that he took us on men's retreats and men's conferences to Destin, Florida. And when we got there, here go 400 dudes that don't, we just being obedient to the pastor.
Right.
We get there, we playing dominoes and spades and Madden, golfing, fishing, praising the Lord, singing in the most horrible key you could sing in. But it was all the unity. It was all the brotherhood. Like, let's do that, dog. Let's do that.
Absolutely. Now that COVID seems to be on retreat,
yeah,
we may be able to now start thinking about doing some of those things. So, I'm locked in on that. We definitely going to make that happen before 2021 is over.
Done deal, man. Always good to see you. And how can people reach you outside of fatherhoodisbrotherhood.com? How can they reach you personally if they like, hey, you know what? I actually need to talk to that brother. Or how can they volunteer?
Give us a call at 770-804-9800. Hit us on email at info@fathersincorporated.com, IG Fathers Incorporated, Twitter Fathers Incorporated, Facebook Fathers Incorporated. Google us at Fathers Incorporated, and you'll find all the mechanisms to find me.
My dude, Kenneth Braswell. It's your boy Griff. Get Up Mornings with Eric Campbell. We'll see y'all soon. Thanks, homie.
Peace.
Now, I don't know. I'm going to press leave, but I don't know where this recording is
It'll
going.
go. It'll go to wherever their cloud or wherever it's going to.
All right, man.
All right,
Love
bro,
you,
man.
dog.
Get
I'll
to
talk to you
sleep, man.
soon.
Love you. Talk to you soon, bro.
Okay.